and welcome to Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you let go of perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson, a life coach in Portland, Oregon. I'm a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today, we're talking about some hacks to help you let go of perfectionism. Hey, Janine.
Hey, Shannon. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I am so good. I am in Walla Walla. And I'm full of pot stickers, and I'm doing just great.
That's always good fuel for podcasting.
Yes, that's right. But I want you to know I didn't want to enter our recording session semi-comatose from caloric intake. So I stopped at 17 pot stickers instead of going for 23. It was a hard decision. It was quite a sacrifice.
That is so absurd.
Oh, man. They are so good.
Well, and the thing is, for our listeners who have not had a meal with Janine does not eat much.
Right. I get full really fast.
Yeah. And when you get full, you're like full and you can't take another bite.
Right.
Like you'll have one bite of food left on your plate of something that you loved and you won't eat it because you're full.
Right.
Like every other person would eat it.
And there's something magical about these pot stickers. I can just eat and eat. And
they just fill in the corners.
Yeah. After 3 servings of 6, that's when I'm full. But I have like 3% room left. And that's when I usually go for the next order because they're so good. But today I stopped. And then as I was leaving, I was sad that I hadn't gone for the next 6, but I'll go back.
Well, yeah. But I would like to congratulate you on stopping when you were full, even though you hadn't had enough.
Thank you. And I really did it for the podcast. I mean, part of me wanted to eat 24 or 23 for the podcast, just so I could brag about it. But I let good sense shine through.
So again, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And if readers are interested in a fuller discussion of pot stickers, which I doubt they are, we had a very long one in another episode, and I can put a link to that in the show notes just in case.
Yeah, I think we had not only a long discussion, but I think a photo and
I got a great photo today of a serving.
Oh, you did. It was beautiful. You texted it to me.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have special things for when you go to Walla Walla.
That's right. It's a special place.
Right. It's sort of funny because one of the things that we wanted to talk about today, one of the anti-perfectionist hacks, was to get in touch with what's important to you. Mm-hmm. And it seems like in this case, usually what's important to you is eating more pot stickers. But when you took a moment to really check in with yourself, being awake and not uncomfortable while recording this episode, shone through as what was really important to you.
Wow. That was, I think you're absolutely right. That was so full of insight. And the way you tied those things together was very impressive because literally I didn't know where you were going with it. I couldn't decide if you were going to say that usually it's important to me to not overeat and be comfortable. But when I'm at this restaurant, what's important to me is eating as many pot stickers as possible. And then I guess the second layer, the new layer of that was that the podcast was the most important thing.
Yeah.
And so, Yeah, but no, you're right. It's so true though that knowing what's important to you, that is a great way to guide your behavior.
Yeah, it really is. And it is in a lot of different respects, and not just in situations where you have a tendency to overindulge, like whether it's with food or I don't know, alcohol or spending, buying things, all the places where it's easy for people to overindulge. That's a great place to ask yourself what's important to you. And particularly not what's important to you in this moment, but what's important to you looking into the future a little bit and even further into the future, down the road. Particularly if something is a regular issue like that, overindulgence. But besides that, just getting in touch with what's important to you generally will help you stop being perfectionistic about things that ultimately are not that important to you.
Right, because if everything were of equal importance, it would be very hard for somebody who has perfectionist tendencies to differentiate between those things that merit extra effort and those things that don't, right?
Right.
But if you're in touch with what's important to you, you can give those important things more attention than the less important things.
Yes. And the example that always comes up for me is the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And how this idea in particular really helped me a lot in letting go of my perfectionistic tendencies and keeping things clean and wanting the kitchen cleaned in a particular way. And, because ultimately I like having a clean kitchen, but that's not what's important to me.
Having a loving family who live in peace and harmony is more.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Right. Well, it's such a perfect example. I mean, it's the reason that you always come back to it. I love that example because it's something a lot of people can relate to, I think. And it's also, to me anyway, so clear that having a happy family is more important than having a super clean kitchen. Because your kitchen's always clean. It's not
right.
It's not a matter of squalor versus cleanliness. Right. It's a matter of like shiny, perfectly clean versus definitely clean enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that brings up the next thing, which is asking yourself, is it good enough?
Mm-hmm. Because it is. Probably.
Yeah. Usually it is.
It is. Right. Not always, but usually, yeah.
I'm trying to think of the things that I have a tendency, because I think this podcast is rubbing off on me.
Yay. I think that's
I know.
Good, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm having a much harder time coming up with things that I get perfectionistic about.
Oh, that's terrific. That's terrific.
Yeah.
I actually have an example of when I think good enough isn't good enough, where you can do better, one can do better, and that is typos. I was just looking at an organizer's website in another state today and almost fell off my chair. There were so many typos in the opening pop-up that was like 2 paragraphs long.
Yikes.
Yeah, and I thought to myself, this isn't good enough. I don't know this person, and she's not asking my opinion. But this isn't good enough. So there are times where, in terms of like presenting yourself professionally, I think that, that might be where, or at least that's where I tend to put my attention, or try to. But
yeah, well, and I think, it's interesting you say that, because I've been working on the power sheets that we talked about a couple of episodes ago. Mm-hmm. And yesterday I noticed a typo in there.
Oh, in the typeset copy?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't notice that. How interesting.
Yeah, and it was interesting because I thought, ooh, a typo. And then I was really surprised that, like, how did this get through? I'm sure there must have been multiple layers of editing. How did it get through there? But I think there are definitely times when I would have let that color my experience. But, there's sort of the odds are there's going to be a typo in just about anything. Most of the time we don't notice them.
Right, and there are a lot of words in the Power Sheets book. A lot of words. Lots of opportunity for typos, unlike the typos I was talking about on the website.
Right. And so, that's the difference. Like, you don't have to go over and over and over and over something because you worry that there's a typo that you've missed.
Right.
And it's really useful to proofread and perhaps have someone else proofread if you're not good at catching your own typos, which most of us aren't very good at.
Right, and there are those commercials. Have you seen them? I don't usually watch commercials because of the way I consume television, but in Walla Walla I do. And is it Geico or some company? No, it's not Geico. I don't know who it is. Has a set of commercials about things not being good enough. It's like a surgeon who walks in the operating room and says, "Hey, I got my license reinstated today." That's not the surgeon you want. Or there was an accountant who said, "I'll get your taxes just as soon as I get through my own audit." And it's a funny bunch of commercials, and it's a good point that there are standards that we need, but we certainly don't need perfect in most things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and you're just doing an amazing job. You're like setting me up to have these amazing segues. I just have to
it's
say
as though we actually talked about this in advance, which we didn't. It's amazing. So let's hear the segue.
So the thing that you need to know is or the thing that's good to notice is, when are you in perfectionist mode? So how do you know the difference between doing a reasonable edit of your work and when have you gone into being perfectionistic? And I think that the definition that works well for that is, are you putting more time into something than it merits?
Exactly. Like an email or a text. A text probably might not merit, especially on a phone when it's so hard to back up and fix texts.
Right.
A super edit, although it's not that. I mean, it's nice when when it's understandable.
Yeah, but so this is, I'm ridiculously proud of the fact that I don't go back and fix all of my errors in texts.
I used to. Some of them?
I only fix it if it makes it hard to understand what I'm saying.
Right. Well, that's interesting and good for you. And you and I exchange our share of texts, and I will say I haven't noticed that you.
Oh, usually it's an autocorrect. And I won't go back and fix it if you can still get the gist of what I'm saying.
Right. And every now and then, not with you and specifically, but I have to ask somebody what. You can tell it's an autocorrect. Like, what was that supposed to be?
Yeah, that made no sense at all.
Right. I had one just the other day where I figured it out just after I retyped the two words that didn't make any sense at all. And I'm scrolling really fast to see if I can find it. But, of course, no, I don't find it. But yeah, so good. Yeah, that's an example, right, of where if you were getting super perfectionistic and going back and fixing your punctuation in your texts, that might be giving it more than it merits.
Right. Although I have to say I had an autocorrect, which I left in because it makes me laugh every time I look at it, is I was writing down some of my goals for 2020, and one of them is to read a certain number of nonfiction books, except for it autocorrected to non-fission books.
Non what? Fission?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So I love that because it makes me laugh every time I look at it.
Yeah, that's great. Just a teeny aside, because you talked about your goals, did you come up with a word of the year that you want to share?
Yes, my word of the year is cultivate.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so I can't think of the right verb. Fraught was the first verb. It's not the one I wanted. Replete. I mean, there's just so much possibility with it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and what it means to me is that I want to cultivate what I already have. Yeah, that's where it really stands out to me. And all of the sort of gardening, the whole gardening metaphor really works well for what that word means to me and how I want it to serve me during the year.
Wonderful. Maybe we can try to remember at the end of the year to have an episode where we talk about how our words of the year worked out for us.
Yeah.
As compared to this year, 2019, where I couldn't even remember my word of the year.
Right, me too.
And I found the typo in the text. It was with a friend, and we were talking about yoga, and she said it was a little change hung for me, but I'm happy I did it. I'm like, change hung. Oh, challenging? Yeah.
So it's sort of like a little brain teaser.
Yeah, it's good for our brains.
Yeah. That's funny. But, what's interesting that you bring up word of the year, and I swear to God that we did not plan all of this, but it is all tied together very nicely, is that having that word of the year and using it as the filter through which I look at things will also help me recognize if I'm being perfectionistic.
Your specific word of the year?
I think any word of the year.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Having it be the filter, right? Because it helps you get in touch with what's important to you, first of all.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so it becomes sort of a shortcut to what's important to you, and then sort of choosing how to best move forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice. And I don't know if I mentioned what I came up with for my word of the year, and it's intention.
Oh,
it was going to be intentional, but I shortened it to intention.
Yeah,
and that feels really good to me.
Good.
Yes.
That's great. It's so nice to have, and I'm looking forward to this because we talked about this very recently about how sort of having so many different ways of looking at your goals and what you want to do and how you want to be and all of that, it got sort of complicated and overwhelming. And I feel really good about having this word to just keep returning to over and over again, and like, is what I'm doing fit with this?
Yes, it's like having a little. I was having trouble. I keep coming up with words that sound more negative than I mean. I was going to say a little secret weapon in your pocket, but that sounds negative. It sounds too violent. Like a little talisman in your pocket,
right,
where you can just go back and refer to it. Yeah, it feels very good. So yay! It's going to be a good year, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
Feels like the future.
It does so much feel like the future. And it's it's an election year, a census year, an Olympic year. It's a big year.
It is.
Yeah. My 30th wedding anniversary.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots going on.
I forgot it was an Olympic year.
Yeah.
That's kind of exciting.
Yeah. And leap year.
Oh, it's also a leap year?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I know.
I feel like there should be an eclipse too, but I don't think there is. There's probably a lunar eclipse.
No, there's an eclipse maybe it's 2022. I was going to say there's going to be an eclipse in St. Louis, but it might be 2022. It's a Hamilton year in St. Louis.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yep. So,
Wow.
yeah, I'm going to go. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Do we have any other hacks?
Yeah, the other thing that we wanted to talk about is that sort of one of the other ways to recognize when you're in perfectionist mode is like when you're struggling to start something or finish it. If you find yourself sort of in resistance or overwhelm, those are all pretty good clues that you're being perfectionistic.
And just recognizing that is a huge step to letting it go in that moment.
Yes. Yeah, and then you can use these other things to help you let it go. Asking yourself, is it good enough? Getting in touch with what's important to you, and have you honored that? Have you reached that? And if it's that you're overwhelmed or resistant and haven't even been able to start, remembering that something is better than nothing.
Right. Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been working on my power sheets, and I wrote that note to myself multiple times in my prep work for coming up with my goals, that something is better than nothing.
Right. And done is better than perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which I think was the name of our first episode, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
One of our listeners messaged me and said that she had a little song that she made up for herself about done is better than perfect. But I couldn't get her to share it with me.
I thought maybe she could call the hotline and sing it, and then we could play it on the podcast.
Oh, I'll have to work on her.
That would be great.
Because I want a song for done is better than perfect.
Yeah, I want her song for done is better than perfect.
You don't want to make up your own.
Right. Yeah, please tell her to sing it on the phone to us.
Yeah, and then maybe she could do a second verse of something is better than nothing.
There you go. Oh, yeah. It could be a YouTube sensation.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe we have other listeners out there who, can do things musically and could make a song for us.
Yeah, that'd be great. I like it. That would make 2020 a really special year on top of all those other things.
Right.
Yeah.
That might be the most special thing of all.
Right.
Yeah. So any other anti-perfectionist things you can think of?
Think a short and sweet and easy to remember list like we just did is wonderfully satisfactory.
Yes. It is absolutely good enough.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, so what about you, our listeners? How do you know when you're getting perfectionistic, and what are your tricks for getting out of that perfectionist mindset? You can let us know by calling the hotline 413-424-GTGE. That's 4843. That's also a great place to call and sing a song to us about done is better than perfect or something is better than nothing. And you can also contact us on social media we're at Getting to Good Enough on Facebook and Instagram, and at GTG Enough on Twitter. And then, of course, you can always find us on our website, gettingtogoodenough.com, where you can comment on the show notes. I think that's it for now. This is Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And Janine Adams, currently in Walla Walla, Washington.
And we hope that good enough is getting easier for you. I think you're right. Shorter is better than longer.
Yes.